And I also follow along with a bit of Barry Becca. I don't know what year
Oh
that
yeah,
was. He was the captain of the Rangers, I remember, but
I've stayed in touch with Barry Beck a little bit. He's over in Hong Kong, or was for many years doing running a program over there.
yeah, hockey.
Um, yeah, and then he lost his son actually, which was tragic. So we had that in common a little bit. And I talked to Barry. He didn't play for me with the Rangers. He played
Yeah.
before I was there.
I guess a little bit about just being around the game for so long. Is there anything that you'd like to pass on to the players, parents, and coaches about just the game of hockey? I mean, I'm sure you could relate probably, but the challenges of what we see, many coaches and I guess even players is just how we'll see how involved and how very narrow-minded some players or parents can get on their player. Like sometimes they're just overtraining, they're on the ice too much, or even just, you get the parents that are yelling from the stands or overly intense. Um, just those types of things. Is there anything that you could pass along just about the great game of hockey and what it brings to people? Not everyone's going to play NHL, not everyone's going to play pro hockey, and not everyone's going to get out of youth hockey or minor hockey. It's a lifestyle type of thing. You're going to meet great people in it and so on. And I feel you'd be a
Well,
great advocate of sharing things.
what I would say to the parents and is they have to understand, and the coaches do too, but the adults have to understand that you're never going to be an elite anything if it's not your passion. You're not going to be an elite welder if welding isn't your passion. You your son or daughter have to make that activity a passion of theirs, and when it becomes a passion of theirs, then they have a chance. Now, how does it become a passion? Because it's fun, and if you take the fun out of it, they're never going to develop a passion for it. If they don't develop a passion for it, they have no chance to be an elite uh, performer in that group. Okay, so their chances, you might say, are 1 in a million to begin with. But if you don't let them, if they don't get a passion for it, and that's only developed by themselves, if you take the fun out of it, if you make it so that it's not fun, but it's more of a job at 12 years old or 8 years old, it's something I have to do or I'll disappoint my parents. You've got no chance. You want them, they have to, it has to be fun. Don't take the fun out of it for the kids. If you take the fun out of it or you don't encourage them to have fun, there's no chance they're going to develop a passion. And if they don't develop a passion, they're not going to keep sticking with it and doing it the way you have to do it, which is every day, day after day, day after day, day after day, to become one of those top people that could maybe get a college scholarship. Well, that would be a miracle. Maybe if they could get drafted, that's another miracle. Maybe if they could ever play pro, that's another miracle. And then if they could play in the NHL, that's another miracle. So, but none of those are possible without the individual having a passion for it. And you're not going to yell that passion into a kid. You're not going to force that passion into a kid. You're not going to scare it into a kid. If they don't, you got to lead them by saying how much fun it is, how much you have enjoyed watching them, how good you think they're doing, how wonderful it is that they want to play, and just keep encouraging them that way.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing relating to what you had said there is even in my younger days of what I was able to go through, good or bad or whatever, toughened us up or however you want to put it. But there are coaches out there, where they're a little tougher. Being a skills coach, and I have coached teams before, and I get it. It's different than being a skills coach. The skills coach teaches skills, they put them through drills, work on little detailed um, coaching within movements of whatever, how they're skating, how they're stick handling, how they're shooting, or seeing the game awareness. But being a head coach, you're always trying to motivate and manage players, right? So especially in practice, I find and it's not just only in Victoria. I do see a lot of Greater Victoria on the island here, but just how these coaches you know, we'll say even professional ones, but even some parent coaches is they seem to want to motivate the player with a little bit of reverse psychology of saying, you know, that they aren't very good or that they, you know, whether they're yelling at them to focus. So in my opinion, at a point there is an age where the kids kind of can understand of what they're saying, what they're doing, but at this, you know, under the age of 10 or 9, most of these the maturity of a young player, all they do is want to have fun. So whether you want to skate them or not, you got to have to have a way of skating them where it's fun. You do like so-called those hidden bag skates. You put them in the where they're skating the full ice in a drill or that type
Yeah.
of stuff. You know, it's not just you want to put a kid on the red line and be like, hey, you aren't doing well, so we're gonna skate you. Like I think that part of it has to change. And you want these kids, like you had said, is going to the rink all the time, wanting to be with their buddies or teammates and wanting to get better and work. And that will only come with the fun. If it's not fun, they're not really itching to want to go to the rink. There's so many things in our life today that are just more fun than going to the rink to
Yeah.
get yelled at or bag skate. There's so many options now of other sports.
You know, Brandon, if I wanted to be a good minor hockey coach, I would read as many child psychology books as I could and read from experts, PhDs in psychology, how a child of that age brain works and how you can motivate them and how can you how to talk to them through child psychology. And I wouldn't assume that what motivated me would motivate them, and I wouldn't assume certainly what motivated me as an adult could possibly motivate them as a child. I would really try to do it the reverse way. You already know all the hockey stuff you need to know, but the one thing we don't know, and I don't know either, is how to motivate that little brain of a whatever age group that is. And experts do know that. And I mean, that's what I would do, but I don't know if people do that already or not.
Yeah, I think, yeah, there's certainly a lot of mentorship given on all our you know, the internet, the social media and stuff. There's a lot of mentors given from the professional coaches, the NHL, people that they look up to, and just like you said, I guess the people that research and study all, we'll say the human mind or even the youth minds. Certainly that's a great way. I think we all have our own different techniques, but I do see one way of think that needs to be changed is just like the yelling and telling players they're just not good enough. I just don't think that's the way to do it anymore. At the end of the day, out of a group of like whatever it is, 100 or whatever, you're maybe one that will play to that, you know, those miracles that you're talking about or those the NHL. So what you need to do is you probably need to try to grow the game into them in a fun type of manner and hope that it catches on. To be honest, if they don't love the game, they're probably going to quit in
No,
5.
they are for sure. It's
Yeah.
like telling somebody to go to the gym and get in shape. If you don't show them how going to the gym is fun, if you don't show them how, you know, working out is going to be fun, they're never going to keep going after you stop yelling at them. You know, you yell at them to go to the gym, they'll go begrudgingly, but you have to tell them how, you know, teach them that this is really fun and come on, I'll do it with you. And we'll, you know, we'll have some competitions, we'll play games, we'll do things. So yeah, you're right. And I feel bad for these kids and I feel bad for the parents that think that they can, you know, yell their way through to a kid becoming a pro anything. You just can't do it.
For sure. And you know, it's all we're all connected, whether it be parent coaches, whether it be coaches, but even the parents will say there are some you know, that are very committed and dedicated to their kid and their player to be able to move up the ranks and give them every opportunity, whether it's ice time, that type of coaching, whether it's travel teams, nice gear, good sticks, like all that stuff. And the game is just getting so much more expensive, and that's I think one way of I think many former players especially, but I'm sure there's lots out there volunteering that just giving back to the game of trying to keep it available to anyone, because I know lots of my friends, and I'm sure there's others out there too that didn't really get to play hockey at all. because of the early morning practices or just the cost of playing hockey. And now it's way more than it was back when I was playing.
Yeah, it's sad that it's so expensive now. It really is, but that's the way the world goes.
That's right.